right, good afternoon everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So in today's video we are going to be talking about how it is that they are preparing for the next crisis. Ultimately they'll need stable coins to be in use, in play, having been already incorporated into the economy and people using it in order for them to be able to deal with the next downturn, the next crisis, the next rise in unemployment, the next recessionary pressures that destroys the economy as far as the consuming that's taking place out there. However you want to describe it, that's the crisis situation, is people stop spending money. And so how is it that they are going to get people to start spending money if the ability for them to go out there and earn a job or earn money from a job to go and spend money into the economy is just not enough? Like, a good job is not enough to prepare the people for the crisis situation that is going to come, because using your day job to prepare is not enough. There is nothing that you can do with your day job to prepare for what it is that's about ready to come, because what's coming is a drop in consuming by the majority of the people. This is what's needing to be understood, that they are going to use the stable coin in order to inject money into the system. The idea behind injecting money into the system is literally to produce a consumer. That's what they are going to do. Now, a lot of people will look at it and think, oh man, this is great. We're going to have all this money through UBI or some sort of, injection of money through stimulus checks or something of this nature. And this generally has the people feeling like this is a good idea. Like, we're going to go and try and support more of the lower or middle class individuals by literally handing them money, but they don't recognize what it is that's truly taking place. Like, what is happening here is you have the elite who are trying to maintain a system that should be collapsing. That's what's happening here. They are going to inject money into the bottom end of the economy in a hopes that they will be able to spend that money, producing a consumer. See, here's the thing. Most people have kind of lost the idea of how it is that this economy actually works, and the idea from what it was that the economy was built from. Like, the United States was a manufacturing powerhouse where we produced the world's greatest stuff and sent that stuff out there to the world, and the world sent us their money. That's pretty easy to understand. You, as an industrious person, you have to show up to a 9-to-5 job. You have to produce something. You have to do some sort of service in order to get the money. That's simple to understand. But what a lot of people have misunderstood about the economy now is that we're not a producer-saver nation. We are a debtor-consumer nation, meaning that we expose ourselves to debt, and then we use that debt to consume. This is what the economy is based on: consumers and debtors. Now, knowing that if you are a consumer debtor, you are somewhere in the position of the economy, whether you're at the bottom or the top, you are somewhere in that position. Lack of consuming, lack of production, lack of the ability to acquire the things that you want in your life, right? Now, on the other hand, you have a bunch of people who have so much abundance they don't even know what to do with it. Now, those people with all this massive amounts of abundance that they don't know what to do with are trying to figure out how it is that they can maintain this system of keeping the bottom half consuming when their day job is not enough. They go out and take out debt. Now they're debt saturated. They can't take on any more debt. You can lower interest rates all you want, but if the people are debt saturated, they can't take on any more debt. They're not going to go out there and consume. So there was a time when we could lower interest rates, or the United States central banking system could lower interest rates and produce a bunch of consumers. Right? You'd lower interest rates, people would be like, oh, hey, check it out. Lower interest rates. I'm going to go buy a house. I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to spend this money into the economy. That's what generally people would do when the Fed or the central banking systems would lower interest rates. Produce a consumer. But now you can lower interest rates, it doesn't produce a consumer. The consumer is debt saturated and the job is not enough. Like, even a good job sucks, so you go and lower interest rates, and the guy with the good job steps up and says, hey, I want to buy a house, and they're like, yeah, you still don't earn enough. You need to earn more money beyond what it is that you are already earning in order to acquire a house. You need to earn extra money. This is the situation we are now facing. So even a good job doesn't do it anymore. Lowering interest rates doesn't do it anymore. Stimulating the economy is a very difficult process for the Federal Reserve and for the government. Massive fiscal policy, meaning that the government goes and spends a lot of money, right? You remember back in the day, the shovel-ready jobs? Yeah, remember that one? I love that one, shovel-ready jobs. Or all the expansion of the infrastructure. Like, I mean, all these ideas and concepts that they have to try and spend money, that's the government doing their best to take out debt and spend it into the economy, because you can't do it. I mean, the average everyday person can't do it enough to take out all that debt, to spend it into the economy, to help stimulate all the aggregate consuming, aggregate demand, right, that comes from lowering interest rates. That doesn't exist anymore. So how is it that that lowering of interest rates is actually going to have that stimulating effect on the economy? Simply, probably won't. I mean, not without a bunch of government spending, stimulus packages, right? Hand the check here. If you're not going to borrow it, here, we'll just borrow it on your behalf and give it to you, and then charge your future later in tax revenues to pay it back. Right? I mean, that's the situation we now face. Stable coins, a lot of people are going to look at those things and say, it's for tracking and tracing and taxing and all this other stuff. And yeah, absolutely. That's what can come from it. I mean, no doubt about it, but they kind of do that already, right? Through all the transactions you use with your debit cards and bank accounts and online purchases and, automatic deposits and whatever it is you got going on. They already track and trace everything you do. So that's not like new. It's not like all of a sudden a new thing is going to come. Is it going to make it more efficient? Absolutely. Like way more efficient to track and trace. But it's not like it's going to be a new thing that comes from that. They're already doing that. Right? The stable coins is going to do one good thing, right? And not for me, not for you. It's going to do one good thing for them, right? That one good thing for them is it's going to give them the ability to take interest rates into negative territory. That's what they are looking for. That's the one good thing that stablecoins is going to do, right? And again, not for us as the individual person. That's not a good thing. It is for them, because now if you have a stablecoin, what you can do is now issue out stablecoins to be used for making purchases, not only at the retail stores, but to be able to earn stablecoin, be able to pay taxes in stablecoin. What ends up happening to cash when you have stablecoin being so well used? You can slowly start pulling the cash out of the system. This is what the intent is. Using stablecoins to get cash out of the system. That's the intent. That's the intent. Yeah, we can look at all the scary stuff, taxing, tracking, tracing, all that other stuff, right? For sure. But the real goal of this, the good thing for them when they issue out stablecoin, is that they are going to be able to remove cash. Once you have cash out of the system, now they have the ability to take interest rates into negative territory, and that is the real goal of stimulating. Once they have interest rates into negative territory and they are not crashing the entire system because people are pulling all their money out in cash because cash is no longer available, now you're forced into the system. Take interest rates into negative territory. How much money are you going to keep in the banking system, or how much of that are you going to take and move into buying stuff as opposed to taking a negative interest rates on your bank account? You would much rather spend the money, right? Or invest the money. Get it out there moving. Create money velocity. This is the true intent. Most people will never see this. Most people will never see it, and it's not me who made this up, right? Again, like, I've done videos on this, probably 7 years ago now, 6-7 years ago. I left a link down in the description to a video I did probably in the first 6, 7, 8 months of me having this channel, right? In the first year of this channel. It's called, Negative Interest Rates is a Cashless Society or something of that nature. Anyway, I left a link down in the description. It talks all about this. How it is that the IMF had set this plan up well into motion years and years and years before you ever heard about central bank digital currencies. Long before that. For a particular reason. And that reason isn't what they are describing out there with the rules and the regulations and all that other stuff. That's all the cover up. That's all the cover up. That's the mask and cloud and distract you from the realities of what it is that's about ready to happen here. Because once those stable coins are in use, once they have the dollar being or backing the stable coins, they can start removing the cash out of the system. Because people are going to be using the stable coins and not even realizing that's what's going on. Like they'll be making purchases through, their online, whatever, online purchases, paying their bills, paying their taxes, doing or whatever. And they're going to see the dollar amount, not realizing that they're actually doing transactions in stable coin. Okay. Once the people are in it, there is no escape. There's no escaping from it. Okay. And really, a lot of people are going to try and resist the idea. There's no resistance to it because you may not even realize you're transacting in stable coins. And then you're going to find people out there who are going to beg for it. Literally go and beg for the stable coin to be able to acquire the things that they want in their life, like food, right? All the government subsidy stuff will be issued out in stable coin. This is how they're going to get the people into it. And they are going to get zero resistance from it. Zero. I mean, it's happening now. Think about all the resistance. How many people do you hear talking in your daily conversations outside of maybe the people here on this channel or other similar YouTube channels who are talking about stablecoins? I could ask a zillion questions to all these people that I know here in town about stablecoins, and I doubt any of them can give you any kind of understanding of it whatsoever. But I guarantee you, they will be using stablecoins at some point in the future and not realize it. Right? Like, where's the resistance? There is none. There's no resistance to this. All right, what time is it? 12 minutes into it. Let's cruise it back up here a little ways. We got many people will fall for this system. I give everything up for Christ. Gold seems to be the way to go, but silver is more financially accessible for the common man. See, I like the idea behind it because it does give you that exit out of the third-party claim. Like, you can have something that is now like, hey, man, you guys are not involved in my wealth, my holding of my wealth. This is mine outside of that third-party claim. The only problem with that is how do you live day to day? All right? That's very difficult. You can't go down to the store and necessarily trade your bullion for loaves of bread. I mean, there might be some places in the world that you can do that, or some places in the country, but for the most part, the average everyday person is not going to be able to do that. So even holding on to gold and silver for the idea that you're going to protect yourself from the events that are happening, I don't know how well you're going to be able to do that. Now, you might be able to transfer your wealth to the other side, like whatever transition we go through that wipes out a lot of people and causes the devastations and crisis and panic and horribleness that comes from it. You might be able to transfer over to the other side of that, holding on to your gold and silver. But during that meantime, what are you going to do? Right? I mean, you're going to be in the same position as everybody else, and then you're also got a little weight that you have to carry around trying to transition over to the other side of whatever it is that this is going to look like. So in that meantime, I'm figuring something out. Like, how is it that I conduct myself within this environment? I can't exit out of it. I mean, I can in some ways, but I can't exit out of it and continue to live. I can exit out and then try and live on the streets and survive and do all that other stuff. But in the meantime, if you want to pay bills, if you want to, invest, if you want to do all these other stuff, you have to be in the game. You have to be in that system. So for me, looking at it in the insurance policies as an insurance policy, then gives me the ability to say, hey man, I'm not expecting this to do anything for me other than transfer my wealth over to the other side, or hand it over to my kids so that they can transfer it over to the other side of whatever the other side is, All right, all-nighter. Please change it up with the goofy comment. Once or twice is enough. Much more becomes spam. Thank you, all-nighter, for doing such a good job of keeping the comment section algorithm friendly. We're gonna have to do an interview later. All-nighter's hanging out, by the way. I don't know if anybody knew that. He's been up here hanging out with the Uneducated Economist for the last few days. And the best solution is diversification. What's your favorite coin besides Bitcoin, like XRP or so on UE? I really just don't see anything other than Bitcoin, right? Like somebody says, oh, dude, there is all kinds of coins out there that are doing much different than what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin has all these issues and they label it all off. And then I say, well, did you not think about the secondary layer systems that can incorporate Bitcoin into use? Like with smart contracts and faster transactions and all this other stuff. Like it ain't exactly the Bitcoin network, but the Lightning network can, facilitate the trades and do all the things that these other coins are doing. So to me, like, I just don't see where any other coin is going to be that of Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's it. There's nothing else. I'm not saying that the other coins won't exist or have good usage and be popular and turn out to be a profitable thing. I mean, I'm not trying to discourage people from getting into the other coins. I'm just saying, like, that's it for me. Like, I just don't see where the other coins can do anything that Bitcoin can't already or will be doing very soon into the future. And so if you were to ask me, well, just name some other coin, I liked Litecoin. I jumped on Litecoin, bought a bunch of it when, a long time ago. I really liked Charlie Lee. I know a lot of people were very disappointed with Charlie Lee for dumping out all his Litecoin at the height of the market. I think that was probably one of the best things that he could ever have possibly done. He took that money and now is using it to advance his project and work on his programs and stuff. So to me, like, I didn't have a problem with anything that was happening there. A lot of people got discouraged with it. But then again, Litecoin doesn't seem to be nearly as popular as it was at the time when I was buying into it. So if there was another coin out there, it would have been Litecoin. But again, like, I don't buy Litecoin. I may buy some alternate coins, alternative coins, just occasionally, just because it popped up. I bought some Uniswap because I knew a guy who actually acquired Uniswap in a real world situation. He wasn't trying to get Uniswap. It just ended up becoming part of his he owned some of it just from a service that he was buying or something like that. I forget exactly how he got it. It was some like internet service that he was buying, and they sent him some Uniswap. He had no idea what the hell it was or how to even work it or anything like that. And I'm like, oh shit. So I went right out and bought some Uniswap right then, and it did okay, right? I mean, it's gone up some, but I'm into Bitcoin. I just don't see what else. I just don't think there's anything else really that's going to match, that's going to compare to it. It's just, that's it, So that's me personally, and there's other things out there that I'm sure will probably do quite well. But again, like, with the secondary layer systems, I'm not sure what it is that they can do. All right. People invest to get rich quickly. Terrible idea. Yeah, it's never worked out well for me. All right. Living the dream. When they start advertising Bitcoin, it's already too far gone for people to make any money. Corporations have already played their hand and jacked up the price. Living the dream. I very much disagree with this. Here's the issue. Like, how many Bitcoins have been made? How many more are going to be made? Very few. Most of the Bitcoin are already out, and there's few that are going to be trickling in for whatever the next 100+ years. So all the Bitcoin is out, essentially, right? This is it. This is everything. Getting your hands on it and never letting it go is then taking Bitcoin off the market. Like, literally, like, limiting the supply that's available out there. Like, there's only one direction that it can go. Like, the supply is going to diminish as more people are acquiring it, right? And the availability of more coming on is going to be so limited that, the chances of it having any kind of peak right now, I think, are very low. I think that there is so much more opportunity for this to go, not even, like, I think we are just barely scratching the surface on where it could go. I mean, think about it. There's only 19 something million coins and only 21 million that will ever be produced. Think of all the ones that are lost, all the ones that are in diamond hands, all the ones that, are not yet going to, like, never going to be found or used or something of that nature. Like, it's insane to think how many people out there that tried to go and grab just a little bit of Bitcoin, how fast it can actually move. Like, to me, I think we're just barely getting started in the Bitcoin game. Yeah. Supply and demand for the win. That's really what it comes down to. Popularity is overrated. Give me steak and potatoes. 21 quadrillion satoshis. Not that rare, bro. Not that rare. Um, I mean, I think that if there was like paper derivatives of Bitcoin would not be that rare. I would agree with that, right? Like there's probably paper derivatives that can make an essentially an unlimited amount of Bitcoin out there, right? Something like silver, right? There's ultimately 150, I don't even know what the number is now, 150 paper ounces of silver for every physical ounce of silver out there. So yeah, like there's a paper manipulation game that says there's plenty of silver to be had. Not that much physical, right? But you can buy all the silver you could ever possibly imagine. Right? I mean, it's all out there to be had. If you want to get a hold of the physical, you might be playing a different game. Right? Understanding that is kind of a key to understanding the Bitcoin thing as well. So, is there a time in which that people are going to be wanting that physical Bitcoin as opposed to the paper derivative, much like what we would have expected from silver? Maybe. I don't know. Like I would have figured the silver game would have ended a long time ago, but yet here we are, right? Silver is still just as manipulated as the day that I was buying it 15, 20 years ago. There's no change to any of that, and it never came to an end, and my silver didn't shoot up to $1,500 an ounce like everybody said it was going to once the paper manipulation game ended. It doesn't end. It just keeps going. So I can agree with you on that sense, but it doesn't stop me, like with the Bitcoin, like the paper Bitcoin manipulation game. I would totally agree, but that doesn't stop me from buying silver, right? And here's the thing, Bitcoin is global, a lot like silver is. So when you have something that is global, like Bitcoin, where it doesn't matter who or where, so long as you have an internet transaction, it doesn't matter what like United States can outlaw it all they want. They got to outlaw it across the entire globe. And then once you outlaw it, think about this for just a minute. You outlaw something that somebody wants, what happens? The price of it shoots through the roof. Think about drugs, think about sex, think about firearms. You take something that somebody wants, you make it illegal, and you'll drive the price right through the roof. Yeah, I mean, to me, there's no better way of absolutely causing the Bitcoin price to just explode than to start making it illegal. You make something that somebody wants illegal, and you will see the prices go through the roof. Guaranteed. I agree. The money printer didn't create the desired inflation, but printing in other countries did. Germany, Zimbabwe is UT because the money is the world's reserve, not trolling, just learning. Thanks. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I agree with that. I mean, I agree that the United States would have a hell of a time trying to find themselves in a hyperinflation scenario so long as the dollar is the world reserve currency. I mean, just understanding that there's nations out there who have written debts due in dollars that don't have anything to do with the United States. Not our government, not our banking system, not our people, not the corporations, none of that stuff. This is an individual in a foreign nation writing a contract that is due in dollars, borrowing money in dollars and promising to pay in dollars, injecting that contract into the system, getting paid in dollars for it, right? Borrowing money in it. And now that contract acts like dollars as well. The amount of dollars in circulation that don't have anything to do with the United States is beyond comprehension. When those contracts come due, it's going to send the dollar to the moon. I don't think that the Federal Reserve can print at a pace that is fast enough to cover all the dollar-denominated debt. And now a lot of people have no idea what I just said there, but if you understand that, you would probably agree with me very much. Go watch Brent Johnson and Jeff Snyder. All right. My necessity stores are printing money when my buddies are struggling. Knew the environment and acted accordingly. Down because it's going to be a part of the infrastructure of payments and transactions. Why would Coinbase and Cash App allow us to buy BTC if it's going to be worth so much. Why not just keep it? I question the supply cap. 21 million is suspect at minimum. Hey, Dow Jones. I like the name. Hey, that's entirely up to you, man. I mean, this is your opinion. It's like, it's not for me to defend. Like, why would they sell it when, because they make a commission off of it. They don't care about owning anything. Just like a silver dealer doesn't want to own silver. He wants to do transactions. The money is in the transactions, not in the holding of silver. You're like, look at all my wealth. Well, that's great. What are you going to do with that? You want to pay some bills? You want to eat? You want to buy a car? What are you going to do with that? Well, better start doing some transactions, because the silver dealer makes the money off the transactions, not off of the holding of silver. I mean, there would be no point in a silver dealer holding silver. You'd be a silver hoarder, not a silver dealer. If you're going to be a silver dealer, you got to do transactions. Same thing if you're going to be a Bitcoin dealer. Do transactions. Make the commissions, right? That's what you're after. And so when I hear, like, you know, the idea is just like, why would the miners sell their gold if it's going to be so valuable and the dollar is so worthless? Why would the miners sell their gold? It's because they want to buy diesel. They want to buy a pickup truck. They want to buy equipment. They want to buy food. They want to buy all the stuff that the gold can get them if they were to sell it, because they are a gold dealer. Well, a gold miner, you know. But that's essentially what they're doing. They're dealing gold. They want to sell it to make the money. And so transactions is always about why they're doing it. Never about holding it, never about the value, right? I mean, they use the value to play the game of you should have this to protect yourself and all that other stuff, but they're just using that for the sales tactic. Ultimately, they want to do the transactions just like everybody else. How can anyone question the amount of BTC that will ever be available? This tells me you know nothing about BTC. Robert, hey, it's okay to question it, right? I mean, it's also to understand that if you do question it, to look for the answer. Right? To say, hey man, if 21 million, I'm really suspect, why would that be the case? Well, I don't know, because I'm not a computer programmer, but I do know a lot of people who do computer programming, who do understand the Bitcoin protocol, who have searched through it and said, yes, it can only produce 21 million of them. That's as far as it'll ever go. Now, you can rewrite the code and say, hey, let's fork Bitcoin to produce more coin. Well, okay, then that's not Bitcoin anymore. That's a forked coin, all right? So understanding how Bitcoin operates, not necessarily from your own technical understanding of computers, because I don't know anything about computers, but I do know that I can go to people who do understand it, who have questioned Bitcoin, who said, yeah, I looked at the computer code and this is accurate. It will only produce 21 million. Right? So can I trust that? Well, about enough if I trust fiat. Like, I mean, people are like, I can't trust that stuff. And I'm like, you're going to hold a paper dollar in your hand and tell me that you have trust for that over some computer program? I mean, it was just like, well, I'm glad you're convinced. I'm not. I have about as much trust for the dollar as I do for Bitcoin. Pretty low, all right? I mean, it's pretty insignificant. I don't have trust like that. I pretty much have an expectation that everything on the external is going to fail at some point, because that's what it does. It's always disappointing. How I react to that, how I deal with it, how I position myself accordingly for it, I hope I play the game right. That's what I'm looking at. I have no expectations of any kind of success from the government, from the banking system, from any of that stuff. Okay? Everything that I have expectations of is my understanding of how it is that I'm positioning myself, because that's not going to change out there. None of that stuff. You know? What time is it? Oh, gosh, guys, I'm getting close. I'm going to have to call it quits. All right. Spooning leads to forkins. Yeah, it's one of the jokes of the bingo game. I have trust issues. Always should. All right. Will funding the networks become a big issue as having eats up more profit? I have no idea. Simon, you should come to Bitcoin is for Everyone conference Friday in Portland. Oh shit, JC, if you had told me earlier, I would have totally been on that. We would have gotten all-nighter to go to it too. Email me some details on that. Let's see what we can do. All right, Kirk, selling my vacation beach condo, then renovating the family home. There you go. My biggest issue with all these currencies is just need more of them. Um, is just need more of them. I don't know. Oh, you need more of them. That's the only issue you have, is that you need more of them. Uh, what time is it? Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes here, guys, and I gotta call it quits. What is it? I know you invest in Bitcoin. What are the other stock options you invest in again? So here's the thing about, like, I try not to be like an investment channel. Like, that's not really what I try to do here, because I think that there's other people out there who really understand how it is that you're supposed to look at the numbers of a corporation so that you can invest properly and understand that. I kind of just invest just kind of however I feel, at the time. Um, Ultimately, like, the Bitcoin is seems to be the biggest position, and that wasn't by my choice. It's just because it just did so well. It just moved up in price so high. So I do have quite a bit of Bitcoin, and that, pretty much is the significance of my investments, right? Um, Silver as well, silver and gold. But then I own quite a bit of Coinbase, which is basically a crypto bank, right? So I bought Coin, COIN, dollar cost averaged over the course of, pretty much since the IPO, and, did quite well with the coin. I also buy shares of Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Um, I'm also I I talked about this time just to kind of let you guys know that I was into it, but I'm not suggesting this by any means, right? And this is one that this is one that you most likely, if you try to time it or try to get in on it or something, it's probably going to end up being a very bad move, because it's leveraged 3 times. That is the stock ticker nail. Don't go buying this, all right? It's leveraged 3 times. The volatility is unreal. It will move 15-20% in a day. The moment that you buy it, most likely probably going to end up losing money on it because of how leveraged it is. But it is something that I've been playing around with. So just to be, fully, share full disclosure on everything that I'm doing, that's another position that I have taken. Very small position inside a nail, just to be in it. But for the most part, it's end up going to be like cryptocurrencies. Is, like I said, Bitcoin is the major position, Coinbase, total stock market ETF, a little bit into nail, and then the real estate of my house, and that's like the majority of it. Okay? And again, like, I didn't even want it to be cryptocurrencies. I was hoping it was going to be something else, but Bitcoin just did so well, it just just filled in the biggest position. And it was funny because, like, out of all the stuff that I actually put money towards, dollar cost averaging, Bitcoin smoked it all. Like, just did so much better than everything. Well, maybe not. Coinbase probably did better, but I didn't put as much into Coinbase as I did Bitcoin. But I dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin at $50, no more than $50 a week, right? So for 4 years, I dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin through Cash App, using the Cash App to make the purchase. Did about $5,000 worth of purchases, right? So it wasn't even that much. It was, over a course of 4 years, right? Like, what, 12, like $1,000, or I mean $100 a month, maybe, and that position went from 5,000 to 17,000. So like a $5,000 dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over 4 years ended up yielding about $12,000, right? I haven't pulled it out yet, but that's essentially where the position is. Now, that was not from me, right? That was me following the guidance or the suggestion of Lynn Alden, who I asked straight up. I was like, how do I time the Bitcoin market? She said, dollar cost average. Dollar cost average for 4 years. Doesn't matter if you start at the top of the market. If you do it for 4 years consistently, there is no time in their economic models that would show that you would be under. You will be over. Holy crap, was she right? I absolutely nailed it. Dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I will be doing that forever. forever. For the rest of my life, I will be buying $50 worth of Bitcoin at least every other week, right? From now on. All right. Let's see here. All the crypto crap is hype. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. What are you going to do when they crash the internet? Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. What am I going to do? Because all my money's in the bank. What am I going to do then? Open up, give me my money. Same thing. I don't keep all my money at the same crypto bank. I mean, I have crypto in several different places. I've been robbed of my crypto. I got taken by a crooked exchange called Crypsy. Right? I would have had 250 plus Doge or something when they said when I couldn't log into them anymore and it was all over. Damn crooked exchanges. I don't know. Like, I mean, all these people, what are you going to do when when the internet crashes and all your crypto is gone? And I'm thinking, well, it's like, if you have the computer program and you got the protocol, you can fire the Bitcoin wallet back up again, start the network over and keep it going. So once the internet comes back, it'll just update and go right back to what it was doing. I get it, man. There is issues out there. How do you protect yourself from all of them? You can't. You can't protect yourself from all the issues that you're going to see out there, like, buying into gold and silver. Well, what happens when they tax the piss out of it so you can't cash it in anymore, right? Or they just make it illegal like they did back in the day when they confiscated all the gold. There's all kinds of what ifs that can happen from that. If you're reliant on one thing, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt bad, real bad. Like if you're relying on the bank to stay open, because all your money's in the bank. If you're relying on that 401k to save your retirement, because that's where all your money is, all your retirement's in that 401k. If you have it all tied up into one particular direction or the majority of it, and that one thing disappears and it's going to devastate your life, that's your fault. That's your fault. You do realize that, right? You can't blame anybody for that. I mean, you can. You can go, hey, man, you owe me all my money. Okay, that's great. It was a third-party claim, so good luck, right? I mean, I understand that the moment that I put money into a 401k, that I'm taking my chances with it. However, I don't put everything into a 401k. I also put some towards Bitcoin. What if that goes down? Well, I got some money going towards silver, right? This is the way that I behave and the way I think about it, because if you put all your eggs in one of those baskets, it will get taken from you. Guaranteed. Man, there is going to be something in this universe that causes you to lose it because it's all in one spot. It's too easy to find. It's too easy to get a hold of. It's kind of like, getting a bunch of cash. Like somebody all of a sudden acquires a bunch of cash. They get an inheritance. They get this big bonus. They all of a sudden have all this cash and they don't know what to do with it. Like they don't know how to deploy it into investments. They don't know where it is that they're going to position with it. They literally just don't know. It's like, oh my God, I got, all this thousands of dollars. I guarantee you, over the course of the next year or two, there will be little things inside of their life that will slowly take it all away because they didn't have a plan for it. So the universe will take it. It's like if you don't have a plan for it, there's somebody else who does have a plan for it. So think about that for just a minute. There's a plan for it. If you don't have a plan, somebody else does. All right. What time is it? All right, guys, I got to go. One more from All Nighter. What ifs are endless and usually worthless in meaningful conversations? I totally agree. We could sit here with the what if scenarios all day long. What if they shut down the internet? What if they come knocking on your door? What if? Well, that's all well and good. I'm not worried about the what ifs. What I'm worried about is the what is happening. What is taking place right now? All these people, oh man, you put all that money into Bitcoin, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it all. I'm thinking, well, right now, I could cash it out and put it all down on another piece of property that people are saying, don't do that. Bad idea. Don't take that position. You're going to watch it crash. And I'm thinking, okay, so don't be in crypto. Don't be in real estate. Don't be in gold and silver. Don't be in the dollar. Don't be at work. Don't be a loser. Don't be all these things. And I'm like, what is it that I should be? Since I can't be all these things, what is it that I should be? Right? Being it all. Be in everything all the time, all at once. Be ready to move, right? If this falls, something else should go up. Be in the balance of it all, right? I gotta go, guys. I would love to keep talking, but I got to go back to work. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.